The Jurassic Park movies were pretty good. The first movie told a tale of how dinosaurs roamed the earth again, and was an allegory for the misuse of genetic power. The franchise, like any other franchise, eventually led to the spawn of its own fandom and community. The Jurassic community is filled with all kinds of creators, like theorists, toy reviewers, fanfic writers, and gamers. However, like any other fandom, it does have its bad eggs. There are people in the Jurassic community who butt heads, place Dominion on a high pedestal, and do some other misguided activities that are viewed as discreet. But surprisingly, there is a good portion of that community that shares one problematic view that is still a problem today: homophobia. Homophobia, or differently, the people who have a hatred towards LGBTQ people, make up a good percentage of the Jurassic community. In fact, the community had more of a problem with the lesbian relationships in the Netflix show than with the Brads and Brad X, which look more like they belong in a Transformers movie than a Jurassic movie. So, why is it like this? Why is a good portion of the Jurassic community against the LGBT community? Well, after doing some research, I may have a theory on why it's like that. Now we all know Jurassic Park was released in 1993, and the children who watched it were born in the 80s, and people who read the book were most likely born in the 70s and probably the 60s. Now, during this time period, the LGBT community wasn't viewed as well as it is today. Many people during this time frame were well against the idea of same-gender relationships, but there's also something else. Around the 80s and 90s, there was a disease epidemic going on. No, not like the COVID-19 pandemic which happened recently. During this time, there was an alarming concern over the spread of HIV and AIDS. Yeah, you didn't expect a Jurassic Park video to be about HIV and AIDS. According to the CDC, there was a strain of HIV called, I'm gonna butcher this badly, Kaposi's sarcoma, which is a disease that is associated with HIV. Besides being a sexually transmitted disease, Kaposi's sarcoma was unique as it was able to be transmitted through saliva, which meant people who had it couldn't kiss anyone. Now, the CDC noticed that Kaposi's sarcoma was spreading rapidly among a certain community, that community being the gays. Because of the growing amount of HIV among the gays, there was a great fear around the LGBT community, and no one knows how to weaponize fear like the media. Thanks to the biases of the media and the myths around HIV and AIDS at the time, people feared and hated gays and LGBT people, and unfortunately, some of these myths people still believe today. And a good few of these people happen to be members of the Jurassic community as well. Additionally, there are a lot of members of the Jurassic community that are religious, the majority being Christian, of course. Okay, listen. If you're sensitive to talk about religion, you can click off. But if you're okay with what I'm about to talk about, you can proceed. Now, I know a good percentage of religions believe that homosexuality is a sin. You have a right to believe that. That's freedom of thought, and no one can take that away from you. However, that does not give you the right to use that as an excuse to hurt others. You can't control what other people do to their bodies, or what love life they choose, or what religion they believe in. The only person who you can control is yourself. A good person I knew taught me that. Plus, a Christian friend I knew told me that he believes hate the sin, not the sinner, which I think is a good thing to believe for all Christians. Christianity is about respect and equality to all. So, in summary, the reason why a good percentage of the Jurassic community is homophobic is due to the anti-LGBT environments of the 80s and 90s, in addition to the HIV and AIDS epidemic of the time, and the overly controlling Christians who I think are going too far. But this is just a theory. Theories aren't statements of fact and can be interpreted in any way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and have a great day.